Alrighty, we're going to call the Thursday, January 15th, 2026 regular meeting of the Cherokee Village City Council to order. Would care to join in the Pledge of Allegiance real quick? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll recognize a short moment of silence, please. Roll call, please.
Harrison.
Here.
Rachel Tatum. Thompson. Martin.
Here.
Jeff Tatum. Lowe.
Here.
Ishmael. Rowland. Mayor, clerk, and attorney in attendance. Quorum not established.
Yeah. Without a quorum, we can't do official city business tonight, so about all we can do is just have a little informal. I know there's some people that was wanting to talk. Mr. David Ladd and Mr. Wayne Bennett from Waste Connections is here to answer questions about the waste contract, and I know I'm going to pronounce this wrong. Is it Leon Rummer? Okay. So we'll just have a little informal meeting. Do you have any updates on stuff you've been working on?
Yes, so I am going to be submitting to attorney.
Excuse me, Jason.
Oh.
Make sure you speak into your mic.
That's probably the first time anyone's ever told me I need a microphone, so. But
Listen to the video because you don't hear it.
So I will be submitting, I took a stab at the writing an ordinance for the ADUs with some guidance from other towns in Arkansas as a template. So I will be turning that into you guys to take a look at as kind of like our jumping off point. And then at that point, get planning and zoning involved and we can kind of go from there.
Alrighty. Mr. David, Mr. Wayne, you want to, anything you, they submitted the contract, the new updated contract for the collection and hauling of the waste disposal in the village, which they actually met all of our criteria that we asked for about the, we actually, I'm sure I seen it in there. I hadn't got a chance to read all the way through it, but we did the 3-year, it was a 3-year contract with the optional 2-year extension at the end.
Yeah, I believe
Yes.
that's correct.
Yeah, that's what, so go ahead and get that. We've been talking about this, since October or November?
Yeah, I think
It's been a little while, but
back here,
anyway.
yeah, October.
They're here for any questions. Anybody's got any questions, you can hit them up about the Waste Connections.
I wanted to give you a heads up. I went to the Townhouse Association meeting Tuesday night, and I think Ed Soja is going to get in touch with you about trying to see if they can get smaller garbage cans for the townhouse residents, just because they're having some of the elderly's having trouble.
Yeah, we have acquired, we do have some 65-gallon, we don't, something we usually don't carry, but we have acquired some. They're a 65-gallon tote that, we have replaced. I've placed some with some of the elderly here in Cherokee, yes. Mm-hmm. So we do have some, yes.
So
Do you have a direct number I could forward that? Has he already called you? That just happened Tuesday night, so.
No.
Do you have a number you want me to give him?
Yes, it'd be 870-847-5158. That'll be my direct work phone,
Is that 51 what?
5158.
And what was your name?
Wayne Bennett.
Wayne.
Yeah, Wayne Bennett.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Wayne, Mr. David, for being here. Let's see, if you have any more questions. Jason, Peter, any questions? Already. Mr. Leon, if you want to, like I said, I know we're just being a little informal and out of sorts, but we don't have a quorum to do any legal voting business tonight.
I get it.
I just want to say, Mr. Mayor, and council members, my name is Leon Ramore, and I reside at 83 Powhatan Drive. Thank you for allowing me to speak. I'd like to address Ordinance 99-11, dated July 20th, 1999, and Ordinance 2004-14, which was amending 9911 on December 2nd, 2004. It concerns rules and regulations concerning garbage and trash disposal and regulating abandoned property, rubbish, and abandoned motor vehicles. I provided photos taken today, January 15th, 2026, of 3 properties, 88, 90, and 80 Powhatan. 88 Powhatan has been abandoned for some time. Before I purchased my home at 83 Powhatan on March 11th, 2024. It was totally abandoned until the summer of 2025 when lumber was dropped off in the driveway and some work was done on a back deck. Since then, some of the lumber from 90 Powhatan was placed on a trailer and dropped in the driveway of 88 Powhatan, which you can see in the photo. The front door must not be locked, since from time to time it is left open and could be a danger to kids in the neighborhood and who live across the street. Nothing has been done for the last few months with that property. Concerning the property at 90 Powhatan Drive, it is my understanding that this property is owned by the same individual or individuals as 88 Powhatan. This home apparently burned down 3 to 4 years ago from information that I obtained from neighbors. This property is very dangerous and unsanitary, and the floor now is actually caving into the basement. And again, is very dangerous for the neighborhood kids as well as adults, besides being unsightly and affecting the value of our property. The ordinances already referred to, as well as 2008-05, that provides for the removal or razing of buildings within the city limits of Cherokee Village that are dilapidated, unsightly, unsafe, unsanitary, or detrimental to the public welfare need to be enforced and followed through on. The last photo submitted is of 80 Powhatan Drive, which shows 3 abandoned vehicles parked in a row and 2 tires stacked next to them. An older Chevrolet pickup, an older Cadillac sedan, and an older Ford pickup from the 1980s have not been moved or running since I purchased my home in March of 2024. I doubt that they are registered or licensed either. These vehicles need to be removed as addressed in Ordinance 9911 and 2025-02. I know there are other areas of our city that are in even worse condition, such as Skyline Drive and Hiawatha Drive. I would hope that Your Honor, the Mayor, and the City Council will address these concerns and enforce the ordinances that are already on the books. I am concerned for the welfare of our neighborhood, the children and adults, and for the loss of property values in our city. It is very difficult to attract new residents and to be proud of our city when we do nothing to keep it clean and attractive. Thank you.
Mr. Leon, have you contacted the code enforcement here?
No, I have not.
So this is your first information to the city?
Mhm.
Okay. We're going to forward this on to Charlie Akers, our
Okay.
city inspector and the code enforcement team.
All right, I appreciate that.
Anybody else got anything? Miss Hannah?
Do I respond to last month?
Huh?
Can I respond to what happened last month? Is that what last council meeting? Or do you
Can't-
want me to wait?
What do you mean?
Nobody here to respond.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a quorum. We can't really do anything tonight. There's nothing we can vote
Well,
on.
other than being updated, so,
Yeah.
Okay. That,
yeah,
thank you.
I'm okay with it.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak tonight. I appreciate it. Again, my name is Hannah Eisenberg, and I'm responding to the property at 7 Catlin Trace in Cherokee Village, Arkansas here. What I wanted to do was list some corrections from comments that were made last month with regards to my property. And I wanted to refute some of the things that was said and shared at that meeting. Number one, since Cherokee Village Council distrusts me regarding being approved for a refi, they may call upon the bank for a request. But I do know privately that Thompson and my banker had had a conversation outside of the realm in a social thing to verify that that was true. So I can't present papers to you. It has to come directly from the bank, okay? Specific to that refi. And I have not been before the council several times about this project, as alluded to by Councilman Thompson. September 20 of 2022 was the first time I had been to the Cherokee Village Council chamber, where I wasn't even invited to the planning and zoning meeting. I introduced myself to the board after all was heard, answered questions, and then after the questions, the gentleman who had the gavel was the one that actually said I could go ahead and design him anything, that I was a really good designer, and everyone unanimously approved of the project, and by that time I'd already had a permit. But I was in response to my next door neighbor, who was Tom Rupart, who at that point has told many, many buyers of my property before construction started that the property had been condemned over and over again. He did it 8 times. And it wasn't until the 8th man that I actually recorded, so I had proof of it when I went to see then Mayor Stokes to talk about this, that it was now going to be a civil case because he introduced himself as Councilman Tom Rupart. And then, as alluded by the councilman again, Thompson, my neighbor, again, Tom Rupart, he did not move because of my home's construction. Rupart left the area right after that meeting, leaving furniture and all behind because he was going to be arrested for terrorist threats of bringing out a 410.
Yeah.
Okay, but, you know, Thompson had said that he had moved because of the construction, and that was not true. He left everything in his house there, and Perryman turned around and sold everything, and our chief, Monty Hall, is here to verify. The straw that Councilman Thompson also alluded to being used in construction was taken perhaps from the carport, which I find trespassing. The construction-worthy straw bales are protected on the enclosed wrapped structure. And he did the same thing, exactly what Councilman Rupart did, by taking materials from the site, and he actually threw the materials in a Ziploc bag to the Planning and Zoning Committee that was what the house was going to be built from. So it likens the same thing of what Councilman Rupart had done. I had told that there was an amount of photographs that were presented to the council last month, and again, nobody asked me whether they can go on my property, and I should be allowed to view those photos. A neighbor who doesn't live next door said she saw a black animal with something in her mouth with a long tail, presumably a rat. Mm-hmm. The only place the animal could have come into was the open porch area on the west side upstairs. And no rats nor other pests, they do not like to eat straw in any way. Hay, yes, but not straw. If it had been the black cat that visits and may have had a chipmunk in its mouth, when dividing bales for structure, we had noticed very small animal trails within some of those bales. And 2 of us yesterday swept clean the whole entire area to find absolutely no poop, so there has been no animals that have been in there. I do know of a bird or 2. And why the neighbor who lives in Memphis allowed to harass the city with numerous phone call complaints and have neighbors read letters from her. She visits every so often, and my attorney had commented that perhaps the city is being pressured due to this harassment. That neighbor has been doing this ever since she purchased the place from Perryman and Perryman when Congressman or Councilman Rupart had vacated his property. My ordinance of 2015-1 has been completely and totally satisfied. We planned on our last burn tomorrow, but I see we have a burn ban, so now it's been postponed. That will be the very, very last burn of a pile that we had made. I've always notified the fire department each and every single time when we've done that before, so they're very aware of what's happened. Best of all, I advertised in several places to give exterior straw bales away from under our black cover in the driveway to be used as mulch for folks to keep their garden warm to no avail. However, this afternoon, I got 2 calls from that advertisement that I put in this afternoon. So anybody that needs straw bales for your garden, please give me a call. They're all rice bales, and they're in fairly good condition. Since the structure itself is well-built, both my attorney and the Arkansas State Building and Safety do not know why my building permit was revoked. As my attorney stated, life happens during construction, and was sorry to learn that neighboring folks who purchased their homes knowing full well it was a construction site should show some grace around some traumatic events, which I have shared before in another letter. Both my attorney and the Arkansas State Building and Safety had not heard of changing a building's permit expiration date. It's a legal document and is typically revoked for substandard construction, which this construction is not. Communication from the city to me has been sorely lacking. Cherokee Village Building Inspector and I hope to remedy that, because there had been no early information at all. It was just ordinance after ordinance, and then the permit was revoked with no warning. As of last Monday, I have made 42 applications of employment the last few months. All but one possible employer directly asked how old I am and what my birth date was. I am now 72, and I've heard absolutely nothing from any of them. It's very disheartening. Friends now are helping me with 2 YouTube channels, of which this straw bale project is one of them, and another friend has already gone to start writing up the GoFundMe that will be online tomorrow. So I have a list as well for, if you're interested, of the project chronological times, because Congressman Thompson had said it was a very long time, and indeed it's been 3 years. Granted, I do know it's been 3 years when we started, and I've been down a whole year because of medical and all the other terrible things that happened with losing even my partner. So if you'd like to see those, I would be more than happy to give those to you. So you actually get to see every single thing of the dates and all that other good stuff. So it's up to you now. I appreciate this. Thank you.
Yeah, you said you had dates?
Yes, sir.
If you got them, you
Okay.
got 3?
Yes, sir. I really appreciate this.
Thank you.
My home girlfriend did this for me. Thank you, Mayor.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Peter. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Can I give one to Penny?
Penny,
Yeah,
yep.
I would. Hey, Penny, do you want her to leave the copies for them to go in the mailboxes of the others? Would that be easiest, if she's got
Copies
them?
of these?
And she's got it, and then the boxes are all scanned and sent to you. I'll just scan and send it to you.
I have one question for you. This whole project you have starts in 2022, but your house burnt down in 2009. What happened between the time that the house burnt down and this project started?
I tried to sell it.
But the house was in the condition that it's in. So this actually has started after the house burned down, let's say
Yes, it's like
2009
new
to
construction.
now. So the residents that have been near you have been dealing with it since 2009, not since 2022, correct?
Correct.
Okay, thank
In
you.
fact, I lived next door to my neighbor in 2009.
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Any other business?
Oh,
Go ahead.
well, after him then.
Yeah.
My name is Tim Samp. I live in Santa Fe. Last time I was here, we discussed the situation at 16 Guyon, where the man and the woman is living in a shed. Have y'all come to any kind of decision on this? And also, I understand that the code department gives these people permits to extend this shed and make it, you know, bring it up to the standards of the Santa Fe, which is being raised up and tied down. I'm assuming all that has to come along with it. And how long do these permits last? I mean-
Usually half a year,
Usually,
half a year.
is it half a year? It was a full year.
Well, it depends on the permit, but I
Yeah.
mean, usually it's a half a year.
Yeah, it does depend on the permit, but most of them are year to year, you know, it would be in the 2026 year, you know.
Okay, so he has all year to start construction on this or to
Without looking
complete
at the
it?
permit, I don't know. Like I said, some of them are 6 months, some of them are 12
And
months,
it should be
as long as
posted
it's
on
in the
front of
same year.
house.
Okay. All
Yeah, it
right.
should be on the permit.
Well, has there been anything done about the situation out there with this gentleman?
And
I mean, allowing him to live in his shed?
Well, you're saying it's a shed, okay?
Yes, sir, it is.
You're saying it's a shed, but.
No, I got
to that
pictures of
person,
it. It's a
not
shed.
It's a house.
yeah,
So, it's apples and oranges,
yeah.
all right? It's like having a mini home or something of that nature. That's a new thing that has come out in the United States that people are wanting to do. The state just passed legislation that we're gonna look into now about actually having extra small things on a lot that's already owned. So, you
It's
say
evolving.
the word shed, but to that person, it's a house, a home.
Okay,
So,
Yeah,
so I mean, a shed is a little 10 by 8 little thing in the backyard.
That's what it
a little
is.
bit bigger than 10 by 8.
okay, if this structure was next to your house and you was talking to a buddy of yours, you would say, that's a shed. It's not a
No,
house.
see, you don't understand what.
Yeah, I do. I understand it's a shed that has a bedroom,
It's
a
a
bathroom,
person-
and a kitchenette.
It's a person that's trying to be a,
It's alternative housing is what they
right,
call it.
alternative housing, and the zoning, you know. we
Okay,
have
this
so-
zone is the whole
there's-
village.
There's so much Cherokee Village that it's hard to, no, you're in a, over there, you're in a,
Santa Fe edition.
Santa Fe edition, you have mobile homes and everything else there.
Yeah, but it doesn't say Santa Fe Edition mobile home area and sheds or tiny buildings.
And
I'm
that's,
just saying, you know, if I bought a piece of property on Thunderbird and parked this thing next to a $200,000 home, this building would be full of people saying, that's a shed.
But
And
it's not, it's not, it's out in the
But
middle of no
it's not.
well,
Just sitting on the ground, what about the stipulation of it being tied down?
my understanding is supposed to be tied down next week.
Next week. Well, it has to be jacked up to be tied down, right?
Not necessarily.
I'm not a
It depends
construction
on how
guy.
they do it.
I'm not a construction guy, so I couldn't tell you that. I don't.
So
do
this guy's
construction.
gonna get to fly with this out there, right?
Let's get a petition up and start getting signatures.
I mean,
I mean, Hold on.
if I go back in time, I'm from up north,
Yeah.
Chicago. And back in the 30s and 40s, people would come in and they'd build a garage. And they'd live out of the garage until their house was built.
That,
And
Okay.
that's no bigger than, that's
You
no
ain't
bigger than
building
the
a
shed
house.
you're talking about.
but that's
So,
not allowed here, Peter.
It doesn't say it is.
You can't,
It doesn't say it is. It's all gray.
well,
Very-
actually,
very
it
great.
does say that you can't build a garage first, you have to build the house first. There
Then
is,
It
the
doesn't
garage.
say that.
there is an ordinance that says
You
that,
have to have a resident there,
yes.
well,
or you can have a tiny home.
and
Well,
I know that there are things that the city is talking about doing to incorporate alternative housing, and first of all, I'm very excited about those conversations, but as of now, the letter of the law, we don't have any provisions for anything other than a mobile home or a site-built house, period. No
Exactly.
other types of construction is outlined as acceptable in the village. Now, that can change, and it could change, but I don't think, being that we know that that permit was issued erroneously, that puts us in a very precarious situation, and we can't, just because we think it's okay, move forward when we know that permit was not issued correctly. It should never have been issued.
And
exactly, I agree, 100%.
And
Here, Jason, here's the deal that, and I know where the confusion you're getting with Peter. Some people's junk is other people's treasures.
Right.
You call it a shed, you think it's a shed, it is a shed.
Right.
But if it's all they have to live in,
Well, that
it's
ain't my
their home.
problem.
Hold on a minute, I've let you talk, let me talk. I'll let you talk plenty, let me talk. It's all they have.
And that's what they live in, it's their home. They call it their home. They don't call it their shed, they call it their home because it's all they have. So you're asking me, and basically, and maybe I'm taking it too literal, look me in the eye, are you telling me you want me as the mayor of the city to go over there and put them out in the cold?
Until
And
it's
kick 'em
40
out?
foot long, jacked up, tied down, and it meets all the codes that a trailer does? Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying.
Well, then I'm telling you, as mayor, I will not put a family out in the cold in the wintertime.
Well, that's their, okay.
Hey, it's an election year.
This
It's an election year.
this
It's an election
gentleman
year.
purchased his property with the ideal, the people he bought it
It should have
from,
been called an alternative housing, is what it should have been called, instead of a
that
shed.
he could put a trailer on there, a camper, RV.
Yes.
Okay, code guy told me absolutely not, no way.
No, we don't do
Okay?
campers.
He told me, call me when he pulls up, so I called him, he went out there, they moved that RV off the lot. Somebody told this gentleman that he could put that shed or alternative housing there and live in it,
Yes.
and it's 20 foot long. I mean, come on, cut me some slack.
There is no, there is
Well, I'm
no,
gonna
there is
go
no
buy some
square
property
foot,
and
there
put
is no
these
square
20-foot
footage
sheds all out
restrictions for
there.
Santa Fe Edition.
And rent them out for 500 a month.
But that would be nice if we had people in the village, that way we could tax them. So we have to find ways to bring people into Cherokee Village. And if alternative housing, if alternative housing brings them in and they are taxpayers, then that's gonna increase the money that we as Cherokee Village have. And as long as they're taking care of the property, I wouldn't be bitching about it. That's, and that's where I'm
He
at.
bought a chicken coop to live in, and then he went out and bought a brand-new shed, bigger than the one he's living in, and put out there on blocks.
Yeah, both of them are brand
But
new.
he's a poor man, he can't afford that.
Both of them
I
are
mean,
brand new, but it's,
that's where I'm at.
yeah.
The one they're living in was
What are you gonna
used.
do? They're trying.
It had a hole cut in the back of it for the
They're trying,
chickens to
as long as
run
they're
in and
taking
out.
care of the property,
I
I would,
got a home out there that I'm very
Hey.
proud of, I live in a mobile home.
Yeah.
And I mean, it appraised way up there, and now when I walk out my door, I look at that chicken.
but the appraisal means nothing until the house is
That's
sold.
so.
If you were living next to it.
I probably.
Hey, Mayor, do you know if, because this all came up last month, the same story, do we know, or did we ask Charlie to find out, was...
The electrical was put in by a licensed contractor, has been inspected. The plumbing was put in by a licensed plumber and was inspected. The water department is supplying them a water service to a home. They have sewer, they have trash disposal.
Occupancy permit?
They have, I don't know about occupancy permits, that stuff. You know what? This
So according-
is like what we was talking about, one of the persons come up and talked about the houses on Powhatan.
Yeah.
Literally, we wrote some, the code enforcement guy went out, wrote tickets, and I know he's done it throughout the year, but we wrote tickets for maintenance of properties last February that we still can't get adjudicated in court.
Shouldn't have to go to court.
It should, what?
No, if people's yards are junked up,
If
you
you-
ought to be able to go up there and tell
That's
them
not the way the
That's
law
not-
works.
that's not the way the law
We don't have
works.
authority to do that.
That's why-
Everybody, every person gets their day in court.
We're not gonna have to clean it up.
That, to me, you're talking about government overreach, and I'm not about government overreach. Everybody deserves the due process of law.
Years ago, what did they do? How come it can't look like it used to look?
Because-
I've been here 42 years.
Because if you want to know the truth, and I'll just put it out there, irresponsible people don't take care of their premises or their pets
Well,
anymore.
then why don't the judge make them do it?
Elect better judges. It's an election year.
Yeah.
You have choices.
Why wasn't the permit issued in the first place?
I-
Instead,
Why,
for a small building.
I can't answer why it was issued, I just can say that it was
Well,
issued.
it's not here.
Huh? I can't ask you why it was issued, I know it was issued. It was issued for a shed, it probably should have been, more than likely should have been issued for alternative housing.
A small.
Well, I can tell you why it was
Because-
issued, because the code people said that Santa Fe had been rezoned. They can't rezone that without residents' knowledge.
And
So
and
they're
I've-
breaking the law
And I've
right
personally
there.
drove out there and I've looked at it and I drove around Guyan and, I mean, yeah, it's a small house on a piece of property. It's It's a lot cleaner than the 3 trailers at the end of the road.
Well, that's Gary Lawrence's problem.
There, that's a problem all in itself.
But my deal is this Act 313, which brought this all about.
Which has
It
nothing to do
states
with
right
it.
in there must be an existing residence on that property before you can put a shed out there or
Yeah,
a
that
mother-in-law
act is
suite.
not applicable
or
to what this
whatever.
is.
Okay, there is no existing residence. It was a drug house. It burnt down.
That act has nothing to do with that. It's not, it doesn't hold, it
But
doesn't
again,
apply
that
to
is,
that.
that is why the clerk said that the permit was issued was because of her interpretation of that House bill, which we've determined it's incorrect. So we're kicking this can down the road, kind of like playing a game of repeat and repeat, when at the end of the day, it was issued erroneously. It should have never been issued, and the interpretation of the bill was incorrect. So now, what are we going to do to fix it?
Exactly.
Well,
I agree with this
I'm
gentleman
just gonna-
100%.
well, then Jason, you'll have to take over being the person that's gonna evict
Is that
a
how you answer
taxpaying.
everything, is to gaslight everybody the minute someone challenges
No.
you, to
So
spin
what
it
do you
around
want?
like we're villains, that we're doing something wrong?
So tell me what you want done.
You want to know?
Tell me. It's an election year. I hope you're announcing for mayor.
We need to revoke the permit. We need to revoke the permit. We're creating liability that we do not need. We are setting a precedent. For the city.
Okay.
How?
Because what do you think? What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen when they challenge their bill of
They can go
assurance?
to court
They
right
can go to
now.
court.
Right,
And
and
do bill of
then,
assurance.
they're going to
see
look
what a
back,
judge
they're
says.
going to look back and see that we issued a permit outside of our own ordinance, and which put them in that position, and then what do you think is going to happen? I hate that I'm having to put these dots so close together, like I'm some kind of monster. I'm just trying to
I'm
look
not
out for
being-
the city. This is not good. And things like this fall under the cracks and just get kicked down the road and gaslit, and we blow it up into something. It's very simple. It should have never been issued. It needs to be revoked.
Exactly.
Okay.
I agree
And it
with this
doesn't make me a
gentleman right
monster.
here.
I'm not an animal. I understand what the ramifications are. But, I mean, we've set a precedent that until we decide as a city where we want alternative housing to go, we can't just arbitrarily pick a lot, make an exception, and then tell everyone to get over it. That is not how it
Ma'am.
works.
Right. You got my vote for mayor.
There you go. Hey,
A motion we
You-
adjourn.
do you want the job right now?
Don't start that. I make a motion we adjourn.
Yeah, we're just arguing back and forth. It's not gonna be anything settled tonight.
The
Uh,
needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one or the few. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't know. I'm sorry. We're in an impasse that I can't get by because I know you're saying it in this fancy words that I can't comprehend in my redneck mind, saying that we're going to revoke their permit and we're going to revoke their permit. Well, so what are they supposed to do?
And that this community, the one thing that we do really well is we do rally around people that need help. And that's all I'm saying. We can figure something else out, but it sets a precedent that is dangerous, and we're not in a position as a city to take on any more liability or any more of these types of an issue.
No.
And we've got to get that department educated on how to do their job and how to do it effectively, because this is not working.
They have a camper, why don't they put it in the trailer park until they can come to go? I'd rather see the camper, the RV.
Well.
They can close it in and strap it down and they can live there. I
Well.
don't want to see no jumper campers, but I would live with a camper that's nice.
I know a city down the road at Cave City had they had a city ordinance about, I believe it was 10 years old, that you couldn't move a mobile home into the city was more than 10 years old at the time it was put up. And they got taken to court and the city lost because the city was creating a financial hardship on an individual, so the city lost. And, yeah, but I'm just saying that the way the laws are going right
I
now,
know Cherokee for a fact.
most of the time the cities lose.
2 or 3 trailers come into the Santa Fe that had, I mean, they look like they got them from a junkyard, and Cherokee Village made them move them out. Because we had enough that looked like that already without bringing them in.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Not since I've been
It was
here.
before your day.
Yeah, not since I've been here, but,
3 of them.
well, anyway, that's,
But
Okay.
they ain't like that no more.
no, that said, people will sue for anything now. Most of the time they win.
Amen.
I mean, it, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can fault anybody you want, but the problem is, first of all, we don't have enough revenue to run the village. The village is too big. And people have to get together one of these days and decide what Cherokee Village is, because there's too much land mass. There's too many things going on out in the middle of no place. So that's the first thing Cherokee Village has to decide what it is. Then it has to decide what kind of rules and what kind of standards it's gonna have. Because the other thing that could happen, that people have been saying, is we can unannex, we can abolish Cherokee Village just as easy. And a lot of people said, let's go back to SID, and I hear a lot of that too. So Cherokee Village cannot all live to the standard of the person that's sitting up on Lake Thunderbird. They can't. They're not that. There's a lot of people by me that are young kids, young adults coming in and trying to have a living, trying to get by, trying to live with what means they have. They find a cheap house they can pick up for $30,000, $40,000, and they move in. And it has all sorts of problems because they were built back in the 60s. And a lot of those houses back in the 60s don't have drywall in them. All they have is paneling in them and stuff. But they're living in there and they're moving, which this building that you're calling a garage or a shed probably has drywall in it. It probably is set up a lot nicer than some of those are.
I don't care if it's got marble ceilings in it. It's a 12 by 20 shed. I mean,
And I'm coming from the thing. I'm coming from the thing of if they're a good citizen in Cherokee Village, I want to do anything I can to help the citizen
so
out.
I've been here 43 years and I'm not a good citizen because I'm bitching about this.
No, it's what has to happen is people have to sit down and discuss what Cherokee Village is going to be. That hasn't been done
Well, I don't
since we were
think you should
created.
be what that is.
Peter, there's rules that planning and zoning.
Planning and
Is-
zoning doesn't know what the heck planning and zoning is doing, and that has been like that for over 10
Okay,
years.
then quit
For over 10 years.
Let her finish.
And quit yelling at me through your mask.
I yell without a mask, I'm just being polite.
Well, I mean, I'm right here. You don't have to yell. The point is, you have your thoughts about the shed and he has his thoughts, but the bottom line is that the permit should have never gotten given to the people. And that's where that's the original problem of this whole thing is. So then what we do is like, what do we do now? It's not the kicking out or the telling them whatever. It's the problem is that permit from our department should have never been given. So what do we do because we gave out a permit that we shouldn't have? And that's what the solution, that's what we got to come up with that answer.
We did. You guys put a hold on all permits on structures under 1,000 square feet. And we can't issue them without they come to the city council for approval. So
Still, that takes care of future problems. It doesn't take care of the problem with the guy that got the permit and that he shouldn't have. I'm saying we still got to figure out how to fix that.
We rectified the problem moving forward.
But then fix the problem you already have.
We got a lot of problems. Have you seen the latest that's going on with SID?
Well,
Miss-
not really local, but the problem right now is affecting these people who lived there for 40 years and take pride in their property.
Yeah. And I appreciate that because a lot of people don't anymore.
Well, and
They don't.
I want to say that I also do agree with Peter that the village does need to come together and decide exactly what it wants to do and wants to be long-term. Peter's exactly right, because in current form, we're too big to be small, too small to be big. We are a town, whether or not anyone likes it or not, we are a town. We are the largest town within Sharp or Fulton counties, yet we have the resources of the smallest. And all that to say, he is exactly right. And his position on this alternative housing out there, I think honestly is the perfect position as to why we do need to look at lots in the village and sections of the village and determine those sections for this type of house. So if you pull up to this section and you want to get a bald eagle building and you want to convert it to a home, you and your neighbors and your neighbor's neighbor and your neighbor's neighbor are all doing the same thing. And when you look out your front door, you're seeing exactly what you've got, and that is what we owe this. That's what we owe the citizens. Is when you walk out your door, you're looking at similar and like, because we are incorporated. We're not unincorporated. We're not rural. We have ordinances, and that's the only thing I'm saying, because I agree, we need to look at the village and think about ways to bring people in and make it bigger.
I think that's what the grant was for and everything, that they had to look at the future of Cherokee Village.
That was more of a wishful dream that was done. They didn't do anything to do any substructure. Nothing's done about sewers. And we have to start thinking about that. There's no infrastructure or anything that was there. It went to a planner, and they came up with some pretty stuff that nobody is going to do, because nobody has the money to do that. So it was money wasted.
It was not money wasted.
It was a lot of money wasted.
No, it was not. That's your opinion.
But if you don't have rules, where are you gonna start? That was a pipe dream.
Yeah.
We have no dream. We have nothing. We have shoot it here, shoot it there, do what you want, because my freedom is important. Or I'm gonna do what I wanna do, because guess what? Because Cherokee Village will let me get away with it. Why do we have rules?
Cherokee Village.
Because if you don't want them, take them off the book.
I agree with you. Let's take them off the books, because all that should be,
What's your plan? What's your
the only thing that should be there is safety issues that are on the state books right now. That's all that should be there right now.
Were
Safety
building codes
issues.
and health codes enforced when this building went up?
But we can't enforce any.
Were they? You have to inspect what you expect, and we're not inspecting. We're just letting people do whatever the hell they want. And that's why you're going to have a city. Mr. Lowe is correct. You want to have consistency. I don't want to live next door to my house and have my neighbor put up a shed that has people in it. Okay? That shouldn't be allowed.
That's already been happening in the village. It already has been happening.
And why are you going to allow it in the future? Because this person is indigent and poor and needs and getting their life together. Well, I am getting my life together. A lot of people in this room are getting their life together too. And we want consistency out of the city, and we're not getting it.
We can't even pave the frickin' roads, let alone consistency. How many people do we have on the road department right now? Do we have 6 full-time employees, or are we still down to 3?
There's 3.
There's too much Cherokee Village, and that's the only thing I can say. And I think that there's a lot of good ideas, all right? But Cherokee Village has got to sit down and decide what it wants to do. One instance is maybe we take and separate from Sharp County from the other county. And that would make us smaller, which would get us grants and would put us in a place where we might be able to do something. So if the city splits, like, Little Rock split, that's an idea. But if we don't sit down and have meetings and discuss these ideas, not something online, we have to sit down as a community and start planning our community, because Cooper's gone.
You want to set a date?
When Cooper left,
Set a date because it's just political rhetoric, Peter.
it's not rhetoric.
Me.
I've been saying this stuff 20 years ago when I came in here. 20 years ago, and I got the recordings to prove it. I've been saying the same thing. We need to plan. We need to plan. And planning and zoning has not planned. It has no long-term plans. And that's the problem with the city. Every time we have a regime change, things change. But the citizens, depending on where you live, If you're living on a lake and you got a $300,000 to $1 million house, don't, leave us alone. But if you're out there with the old community when Cooper left, buildings went under, you got the young kids coming and picking up. We don't have Section 8 in the community yet, but we got the younger people trying to get by, people working for a living and really pushing it. And we're the only community that has this multitude of rules. Hardy doesn't have it like this. Highland doesn't have it like this. They're booming. Ash Flat doesn't have the rules that we have, and they're booming. So, and that's because that's the way Cooper made it. Cooper didn't, we were just right. So we're living on the coattails of what Cooper had, and it's not working for us.
Screw the past, let's talk about what we're gonna do tomorrow, okay?
And that's what needs to be
I'm
done.
tired of always going backwards and going, well, coulda, woulda, shoulda.
But that's what, you're right. That needs to be
What I
done.
want is an action plan, Peter.
Well, there you go.
Where are we going as a community? Because you've got serious financial problems.
Yes.
And you need to attract people here. Right now, and worrying about the past isn't gonna get new people here.
Correct.
A new plan might get new people here.
Correct.
But we have no plans at all.
Correct.
When we depend.
And we can't enforce the plans we have.
Cooper and everyone else, and guess what? I really don't give a damn about those people. I give a damn about how this city is going to be performing and progressing in the future.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%.
We need a
100%.
We need this, no. We need an action plan, which is going to require the entire council and the mayor to go, what do other cities do that are successful?
But no, you can't go on other cities because we don't have the same thing other cities have. Other cities have a downtown. Other cities have a place where you can do business. What happened? We had a place we could do business, and now a church is sitting there. We lost a retail opportunity to a church. Not that I have anything against church, but they could have had that building off the main street and just put a big sign up there and left it for retail. But there's no plan.
No business is going to move here if there's too much negativity.
Correct.
And there's
Correct.
too much
You are
negative
100%.
finance.
You are 100% right. And
And no one will approve a tax increase.
no.
So there you go. There's
The school's been trying to do it. The city's tried 3 times to do it. The school's tried 6 times to do it. So you got to look for alternatives. The lawyer and I are working on one. And that one, I'll announce it now, is everybody with the little vehicles that are on the street that aren't licensed, well, they should start being paying for a license so we can get some revenue for the street department. Because we have stuff to work with, which we get a turn back from the state, but we can't spend any money on the employees and the retirement or anything like that until we get another revenue source in. Because that got lost, sorry, I'm going back to the past, when the lawsuit happened with SID. Because part of SID's responsibility was to provide funding for the roads and streets and to provide for a fire department. That was in their original paperwork. That got blown away, and that's why we're in a deficit now. So now we have to have creative thinkers, not thinking in the same, not going down the same route. We're going to go for taxes. We're going to go for taxes. Let's find ways to exploit what we can in Cherokee Village, or bring revenue in. And until we have a sit down.
How do we go about all of this? I mean, if we get the whole community in here one night and we have a discussion like this, which actually is very good, if you ask me, it's a good discussion, without the.
Yeah.
But do we bring ideas to the city, or does the city and the planning and zoning and all the departments and everything like that, do they come to this community with the plan? How do you move, how do we move?
The thing of it, I think, is, first of all, discussion like this. Maybe we should quarterly, for nothing better than quarterly, have a citywide meeting, and we all get together, and the topic is how to make Cherokee Village a vibrant town. Let's just give it,
Take the village people to come, it's at night, most of them are seniors, they don't drive.
well, see,
When do you find a time or find a place or a way to tell all of them? And yeah, I understand the whole online thing. There are
When-
lots of them don't have any idea what online is.
And I'm one of them.
Get to them and tell them, look, we're going to have a community meeting and we want everybody to come. It's possible, it would be wonderful, but how do you do it? Put out flyers. Put out flyers is one way, put out a mailing is another way. And yeah, it's gonna cost a little, but the benefits you're gonna get out of it are tenfold.
Right.
When you have everybody here.
Well, somebody's got to spearhead it, is what it boils down to, and it's no different than us having the Economic Exploration Committee. And we openly invited people to come, we openly asked for opinions, we told them it was a broad objective, it was talking about tax incentives, revenues coming in, all kinds of subjects, which to me falls hand in hand with everything we've been talking about for 20 minutes. And at the very most, we might have had 4 guests show up to our committee. The last 6 months of 2025. So it's just going to take somebody spearheading, somebody gathering phone numbers and names who want to be a part. Then those 10 people try to contact 10 more of their people that they know are on the same page as them and come together. But it's going to take leadership, somebody taking it by the reins, or 3 people taking it by the reins, and making that happen. This is all good, but, you know, and how do we do it? Is it community involved? Is the council steering it? It doesn't matter. I mean, you come together and make those decisions together as a group and move on, but somebody's got to fall on the sword and be the guy, or the girl.
and
Need to be able to get the word out. I was not there, and I'm trying to stay on top of
It was on the computer, it got announced at.
for
at the-
instance,
I do not get the paper. I can look online for stuff.
Yeah.
But if it's not part of a package for the city or.
It's the same place that you find out about these meetings. It was,
At every city
but,
council meeting.
but communication can always get better around here, for sure.
Any public meeting is posted outside, it's posted on the Facebook page, it's posted on the website, shaking his head because it's sent to all of the media. So that's the only thing, we've hit every way that we can put it out there, as fast as we can to get it out there. Now, if somebody wants to do flyers and you guys drive around and do all this, that's great. But we've hit every, and that is done for every public meeting.
Why don't we start today? Penny gets a blank sheet of paper, anyone that's here, get your name and number on that, so that maybe by word of mouth and talking about this and people listening to this after tonight's over with, somebody might want to say, you know what, let me take a hold of that list and let's add to it, and maybe first part of the year, someone can decide. I mean, it's no different than we were waiting on after budget, after we finished the budget, our Economic Exploration Committee was going to restart in 2026. So it could be kind of a spin-off of that, instead of having a bunch of committees, or not call it a committee if you don't want it an official committee. We don't have to, I mean, we can still all meet without it being an official committee. So if y'all want to get, that could be the starting point, is get everyone's name and number from tonight, and then,
but what could happen is if something was decided before September, no, we could possibly put it on a question on the ballot so that people can vote on. This is what we're going to do with Cherokee Village, instead of just being this word of mouth thing.
Don't tell people that you're going to do it. You say, what are your suggestions? You start.
Well, I'm saying,
Do this. They will.
no, I'm saying we come up with a plan, but every 2 years, the ballot comes up, and it could be put on the ballot. It doesn't
or
have
a
to-
survey at the,
Right,
you
but I
know.
mean, there's all sorts of questions put on the ballot when we vote, and you could say yes or no to it, and that way we'll get a response from the people of Cherokee Village at election time. So, I mean, but this is something that should start. I mean, I've been in politics most of my life, my family has been in politics. When my family gets together, I say this a number of times, that's all we talk about is things and how cities work and how municipalities work. And there's several different kinds. And I have fire chiefs in my family. I have people that used to work on water departments in my family. So we have been a service family. That's what we've done. My dad did it from 1963 to 1997. And the community he worked for, has garbage pickup for free because they thought about it when they were looking for a transfer station. So they said, yeah, our little community will take the transfer station. And look, now they have free garbage pickup because they got the transfer station in their community. If you got to start planning, and that's the problem. We go from administration to administration, and there is no consistency. And that's what I see here in Cherokee Village. That is a difficult thing. Yes, sir. Sorry.
One thing that's consistent is we are organized with our articles of incorporation in the state of Arkansas.
Okay.
We are officially a city. We are a small city, and we have a lot of challenges, and we know that. But we need to follow our rules and our ordinances and our laws, the structure that we've got, the hand that we're dealt. And I'm sure we've made some mistakes in the past, but we need to stick with following the rules and the laws and the organizational plan put forth as a city, and be very careful to dot our i's and cross our t's moving forward, so that we don't have these little breakdowns with planning and zoning and permitting, and who's got a house and who's got a shed. I mean, we've got a couple hot button issues we have to deal with, and hopefully we can move forward and deal with those sooner than later. But we just have to be, as a community and as citizens and as a legislative body here, we've got to be looking at the future in all aspects.
Correct.
I mean, this is the hand we're dealt. We've got 5,000 happy campers who call Cherokee Village their home. We have to try in some way to reach them all, have our meetings at the right time of day, and I'm happy with 6 to 8 p.m. You got people that work, you got people that retire, you kind of have to go where we can get the most people. But what I want to just emphasize is that we have to follow the rules and do our best. If we make a mistake, fess up to it, try to correct it, and do it sooner than later, so we don't have this burden, this millstone around our neck that is just dragging us backwards every time we have a meeting. So after tonight, when we get a quorum, we can move forward. Let's please, as a body and as a community, make some decisions that are going to be to the benefit of the entire community, and help these people that are a little bit outside of the rules and regulations, help them fall into doing things right. In my position as the Director of Community Compliance for my company, I have the unsavory job of evicting people from where they live. I do not like making people homeless, but within the structure and the laws and the organizational things that we have in the communities that I manage, that is part of life. That is part of life. We have to be adults. We have to come to grips with what life is, and we need to deal with it. And as good, God-fearing citizens in this part of the country, we can help people out that are hurting. We can help them find resources and help them as a community get around some of these challenges. But we don't want to start bending the law or breaking the law. We're going to set a precedent that is going to be haunting us as we go down the road in the future. We need to stay on task, follow our rules, our ordinances, and make sure that we treat everybody fairly and equitably at that point.
Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, can I say something? Peter, in your words, you said something that I took very offensive, but you're not even listening.
Sorry, I was...
Say that again, Penny, sorry.
I said, you said something that I took very offensive. When you sat there and said that the people that live on the lake and their $300,000 just don't bother me, excuse me, but I do care. And don't put people in classes because I don't know why you did. But that was...
Yeah, I live on one.
That was totally rude and inappropriate to speak out.
I don't know. You don't live on Lake Thunderbird.
You didn't say like Thunderbird.
I'm
But this isn't about haves and have-nots.
You can, but you could see it in the city is my point.
There's no ifs, about it. Whether it's a little house, you said that's fine, that's a little house. Whether I live on Thunderbird, whether I live on Chanute, or I live up in Timbuktu, that doesn't matter. We as people still care.
Everybody, no matter where they're at.
And I apologize if I offended, but I didn't mean it in that particular, there's a different mindset from a person that's got $1 million than a person that has no income. And there is a different, there is a different mindset there, and I've seen it. I've known lots of millionaires in my life, and I've known lots of really poor people in my life. So there is a mindset where a person with a lot of money goes, well, let's just raise taxes. But they can't think about the poor little guy that can't afford the taxes. We have a lady here that's trying to get a house up, and she's gone through a lot of things, and she just can't afford to knock down $200,000 to get a project done. So, I mean, Cherokee Village is too big, and we have to figure a way to make it, like you said, that we're following the law. But we have to find a way to bring people here to increase our revenue, because our only revenue is basically the taxpayers.
The growth of our community is a multifaceted problem.
Yes.
There's short-term solutions, mid-term solutions, and long-range solutions for attracting people, attracting business, and fostering community growth. You can't flip a switch and make things happen overnight.
Correct.
We have to sit, think, talk, and strategize how we're going to get our community to survive, how we're going to get it to thrive. And I think if we're just all patient and keep moving forward, we're going to get there, but it's not going to happen in 2026. It's not going to happen in 2027. It's going to be slow growth. Slow growth is better than no growth. And we have to be open to ways to where we can attract more business to build our tax base.
Correct.
That means rezoning some of our lots, rezoning some of our land, taking advantage of the things that are right in front of us that, oh, that's never been done before. Let's think outside the box and try and do some things strategically that can improve the situation. As when Mr. Cooper developed our sleepy little bedroom community, he didn't do us any favors by not having any zoned business land, or enough zoned business land. And being off the highway, it's the hand we're dealt, and we're going to have to create it, and it's going to be, we're going to focus for quite a while to get where we're going.
All right. So all of those topics that you just discussed is what we discuss in the Economic Exploration Committee. So, like I said, if y'all want to give, at the very least, if you want to give Penny your names and numbers, I can let you know when that committee meets. And if that committee turns into a larger community, we want to call it something different, then so be it. But everything that he just said and all the other things I just said are all the things that we talk about in that committee. So it covers a broad spectrum.
Rename it the Cherokee Village Steering Committee.
And then one other thing too, thinking about how to really make sure that all of our seniors who don't have computers or are learning, and I'm not even trying to be funny, but carols. Go to carols, have a committee of volunteers that literally have flyers and are just parked at carols for the day or a couple days and just literally just like go up to greet them and make sure they know that we have this economic development committee and we're looking at, ways to grow. And they may not be interested, but they may be interested, and that may be how they find out. So just a suggestion there.
All of those notices are put outside too, between here and the senior center.
Ms. Hannah?
Everything, that way, all you have to do is walk up there, because we know some people don't have computers, they don't, so we didn't put it there.
Ms. Hannah's had her arm up for a little bit.
I would venture to say that a good percentage of the residents here don't have a clue that we're in trouble, truly. And I don't know, the survey sounds good, but if we put out an APB that, that we are in trouble, we'd like your opinions, we need some help, got any great ideas? By soliciting more, I love the idea about carols, by the way, that would be great with them. But then writing even things in carols and little ideas and shoving it in a box. But that most people here don't know Cherokee is in trouble. I would venture 80% Look who's here.
Well, it's got to be grassroots advertising, so my 10 people have to contact 10 of their people, and it's got to,
And ask for their help.
yeah.
Literally.
Hey, believe me.
Because I know we have a wealth of people here with wonderful businesses that they have, and I'm certain they've got a lot of chutzpah, with regards to what they could provide for us, in ideas and changing things. I didn't know that we were in trouble till I started coming here with my own case. I didn't. I didn't even, I had not, I thought, I volunteered a lot of charities around here, and nothing.
Maybe already.
Has been said about the problems in Cherokee Village, except a lot of people don't want to move here because of all the rules and regulations that I have heard over and over again.
Over and over and over.
And I
I've
think
heard that.
that's,
I'm just telling you. They're no different than any place else where you live. I'm just sharing.
well, I'm hoping for more positiveness. Negative rhetoric on Facebook or online is not helping this community out at all. I mean, the negativity is reaching Memphis, it's reaching Jonesboro, it's reaching Little Rock, and it's reaching people who didn't even ask to see that on their phone. It just randomly pops up, then they click on it, and then they happen to maybe know somebody maybe that lived here, and then they call that person and says, what's going on? And heaven forbid if they were anybody who thought about coming here in the next 5 years to retire or have a vacation home or whatever. So this group and this council, I mean, we have got to all get together on being positive and proactive. And I'm not saying that bad things don't happen or the negative things don't happen, but I mean, we need to be a glass half full, not half empty here. So,
We just need to be grateful that we have a class.
yes.
Well, I'd like to motion for adjournment, and I'd like to thank everybody, because this is better than the regular meeting, I think, so far.
Yeah, I'm
This has
glad.
been very informative.
Yeah, this is the most public attendance I've seen.
Oh, I do want to say this with can I have these? I wanted her to pass them on to Charlie. But just to remind you, I've said this before in a council meeting, go to the Cherokee Village website, go under Planning and Zoning, click on that, then you can click on being able to do a court enforcement complaint. And Robert gets that every single day. I mean, you could wear it out. I mean, if you want to be going on a Sunday drive and find 10 houses that you don't like, then do it and put it in the Planning and Zoning complaint box.
But the other thing to that is, start coming to courts on Fridays and watch what the judge does. Yeah, it's.
There's only two
It's
judges.
split, we're
Yeah.
split district, it's two judge, it's the Mark Johnson and, is it Alex? Yeah, Alex Bigger.
But pay attention to how the judges dole out their justice,
Or support the audience and
Yeah.
advocate for your village.
Yeah.
Yes, because the mayor did say something earlier, and I didn't get to amen him, but the other issue is that citations are being issued, warnings are being issued. We are following a procedure in-house, but once it reaches the point to the next step is going before a judge, more oftentimes than not, that is where the ball gets dropped. So that's very important to figure out who the judges are. It is an election year. Advocate, write letters, send emails. I know that's a lot of work. It shouldn't take, in one sense, it shouldn't take all of that, but in another sense, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So I encourage you to find that out. But we do have a process in place. We just need to work the process. But it does hit kind of it hits a wall. And the wall, unfortunately, is the...
It'll be next,
Is it once a month, Mayor? When is it?
it's next Friday. Usually,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
in this room. Usually it's the Friday after a council meeting, but because of the month and the holiday being Monday, it'll be next Friday.
It's not like a particular Friday of the month, it's just like a scheduled date?
It's usually always the third Friday of the month.
Oh,
But with the holiday, Monday holiday, they moved it back a week.
gotcha.
Uh,
I second your motion.
Motion to adjourn, second. All in favor? Aye. There we go.